Welcome to Channel 17, the Town of Colonie Government Channel.
Hi, and welcome to the Senior Resources Show. My name is Cary, and I'm the Director of the Town of Colonie Senior Resources Department. I'm glad that you could join me today. Today, my guest is Tony Scardillo, and he is the Director of the Umbrella of Colonie Program of the Colonie Senior Service Centers. Tony, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you very much for inviting me. This is really a terrific opportunity.
Well, I'm glad that you could be here. There's so much that we need to cover in the next half hour. Umbrella of Colonie is a new and exciting program that's just been launched through Colonie Senior Service Centers. Could you tell me a little bit about the program, why it was started?
Wow, a little bit about the program.
Or a lot about the program.
Oh boy. It is a really terrific program. The whole premise about this program is seniors helping seniors. What we do is we pair able-bodied retired handy people with elderly homeowners who don't have the ability to do work around their home or don't have the funds to hire a contractor. And what we do is we arrange for the handy person to come, do some light handiwork. I like to use the example of repair a doorknob. And they get paid $12 an hour for their work, and everybody benefits from it. The elderly homeowner gets to stay in their own home, and the retired handyman kind of makes a couple of dollars, but at the same time is keeping himself active. And I should point out, when I say himself, it is a non-gender specific. It's women as well.
So besides maybe fixing a doorknob or doing other small home repairs, what other types of services could Umbrella provide to seniors?
You know, that's a funny question. And what I've been asking people to do when they call in to inquire about the program is make up a list of about 8 to 10 items that they have around their home. Some of the things we like to do are small, light work, and repairing a doorknob is an example. I had a woman call who she has one of those windows that cranks open and it's come off the track. That's something we would be able to repair for her. Another woman who called wants to have her bedroom painted. Certainly we could do something like that. What we can't do are large-scale jobs. We did have one person call and inquired about some repair to her foundation, which that's above and beyond the scope of our work. That's some heavy masonry contracting work. Now, having said that, what we do in those instances is we refer the homeowner to a source that could help them.
Okay, that's good to know. Yeah. Now, this is a new program, correct? It's just started up recently?
I started May 5th, so I'm really a real rookie here, but yes. The program is modeled after Umbrella of the Capital District, which is a 13-year-old program there based out of Schenectady. The gentleman who founded it, his name is Ron Byrne, and Ron and I are old friends. We've known each other 25 years or so. And about a year ago, maybe a little bit longer, Ed Neary, the executive director of Colonie Senior Service Centers, and Ron began a dialogue about working together and collaborating on this program and bringing specifically to the town of Colonie this program. And back in March, they really started to get things rolling, and Ron and Ed approached me about the position, and here I am. And it's a great program. It's modeled after their successful program. It's Umbrella of the Capital District is an award-winning program, so it's a great model to be associated with and a great name to be associated with.
Well, I know many seniors in the town are participants already in the Umbrella of the Capital District program. Would they have to switch their membership to Colonie, or could they stay in the existing program that they're in?
Excellent question. Rule of thumb is if the wheel isn't broke, don't fix it. And so the program that we have, we are working very, very closely with Umbrella of the Capital District, and the people that are already members are welcome to stay with them. And if they would like to change over and just work with someone specifically for the town of Colonie, that's their prerogative. But either way is fine, really.
Okay, that's good to know. Now, tell me, there's a $12 an hour fee for the home maintenance portion. Is there a fee to join the program?
Thanks. Great question. What we do is we have a membership fee that's $250 a year, and that includes two very important items. First off is a 17-point home inspection that is done by a New York State certified home inspector. And he'll come to your home and just kind of look around, identify any potential problems you may have. Now, once he does that, there's really no what's the word I want? There's no mandate that you have to have these items repaired. All he's trying to do is identify some potential things that could ultimately end up in being a major repair, and wants to kind of put the brakes on it. That's the first thing. So we do this 17-point home inspection. And the other thing that we offer is a 24-hour answer phone. So if you have a question and it's like 8 o'clock at night and want to contact us, you'd get a human body and a human voice that would answer your questions. And hopefully it's something we can solve over the phone. If not, we do have people that we can help you with.
So if someone calls you at 2 o'clock in the morning and says, my furnace went out, or my power is out, or a host of issues a person could have in the middle of the night or on the weekend, are you able to help them with those issues?
Yeah, that's a really good question, especially with this big storm we had over the weekend. I know personally we had a tree fall, our neighbor's tree fell and hit my truck and broke the back window of the truck. But let's play that role out if it was an elderly homeowner and the tree fell and broke a window to their home. Yeah, we would be able to send someone out and do a temporary repair on that at 2 o'clock in the morning, certainly. After that, we would address the whole situation in a more formal way during normal business hours. But yes, that was quite a storm the other night.
Yeah, it was. Well, I can see where this is a terrific benefit, not only to seniors who do want to stay in their own home. All the research and all the data shows us that seniors want to stay in their home for as long as possible. So these types of services do not take away anybody's independence, really help to enhance their ability to live independently.
Boy, I remember years ago, my grandmother, she was 89 years old, and she had this terrific garden. And I remember her out in the garden with her walker and her hoe, working on the tomatoes. And she really was disabled, and she had broken both her hips and was in really tough shape physically. But she was tough, and one point we inquired with the doctor and said, well, should we bring her into a nursing home? And the doctor said, that's the worst thing you could ever do with her, because she is so happy in her home and she's thriving so well. And we ended up setting up, this is well before, this is, late 80s. We ended up setting up a program where we did have some people come in as home health aides, and it was very terrific. And she was able to live independently in her own home. Can't ask for more.
No, you can't. Now, I just want to get back to the $250 annual fee.
Yes.
As we know, many seniors are living on fixed income, probably listening to the show and thinking it would be a great option for me. However, the $250 may be prohibitive. Is there any assistance for that?
Yeah, let me kind of explain a couple of things, because this just came up yesterday. I had quite a nice conversation with a homeowner, and we almost were doing some math, because when you break things down, well, $12 an hour is very reasonable, but if you only have 2 or 3 items that need to be addressed, is it worth the $250 a year for membership? And so that is a question you have to ask. That's one of the reasons why I ask people to come up with a list of about 8 to 10 things. At that point, it starts to get to be cost effective. Having said that, yes, we have been aware of some individuals, some senior homeowners in the town that do not have the funds to pay for that. What we're doing right now is we're working out an arrangement with a couple of groups to provide limited funding. So what we're hoping going to be able to do is offset a portion of that membership fee with these limited funds.
Like a scholarship.
Yeah, that's a good word for it. I like that.
Now, I had a lady that I was helping that was utilizing the Umbrella Program of the Capital District, and what I found terrific about the relationship is that not only did the individual do things that I would like done around my house, like the gutters cleaned and the screens fixed and some yard work, but he provided companionship to her. And he would run to the pharmacy and pick up her prescription drugs if she had no transportation to get there. Will your program mirror that and being able to provide those types of services?
I had the great fortune of working with Ron from about February this year up until May when I started with Colony Senior Service Centers. And I worked as a handyman. I mean, really, you're on the line working live fire, as they call the term. And the best part about it is the relationships that you make with these senior homeowners. It is so much fun. These homeowners are just vibrant and just really excited and enthusiastic. That's the best part. Two in particular, an 89-year-old woman, homebound, just such a wonderful person, a big Yankees fan, and just very nice. Another gentleman who was a retired professor from the University of Albany, and again, just a fantastic person. And we really became friends, and I would even stop over and have a cup of coffee. You know, wouldn't do any work. We'd stop and chat. It wasn't on billable time, if you will.
Well, that good relationship comes from trust and feeling comfortable and trustworthy. That's the key. Seniors can open up the yellow pages and find a handyman, but do you trust this person coming into your home? So following up on that, how do you screen folks? I know that you're looking at hiring seniors, but how do you screen them? There's still concerns there.
Boy, that's a great question, and I was just this morning talking with a reference. We have, of course, we're getting handymen every day, and I called a reference this morning, and the one compliment she made about this gentleman was that she felt comfortable leaving him alone in her own home. That's how much she trusted him. We have a very elaborate and very in-depth plan as far as screening these home handymen and handy people. It includes 3 professional references that we contact. It includes 3 personal references that we contact, as well as we do a criminal background check of the individual. So we've got a pretty good feel for what they can do. We begin with a limited project. It's not like we'll take the handy person and throw them out there doing 10 jobs. We'll give them 1 or 2 jobs and see how they do on it, if it's right for them, if the program's right for them. And we also, before we even get there, we have a training program that we go through to kind of get them up to speed as to the culture and the philosophy that's involved. So we do a series of steps to make sure that they know. But more importantly than that is they are seniors. They get it. They understand it, and they have the grasp of the value of what they're doing.
That's true. That's very true. Now, as this program grows and you have more and more seniors looking for this service, I'm sure you're going to have more and more of a need to find good handy people.
Thank you very much. Yeah. We currently have about, as I say, the program's just starting. We've got about 4 or 5 handy people that we have on staff, or not on staff, but that we have available to call. We are looking for additional handy people. one of the misconceptions that people have are, well, I wasn't a carpenter, or I wasn't a plumber, or I wasn't an electrician. I don't know if I'm qualified for this program. The two individuals in particular that I'm thinking of, the one gentleman is a retired state worker, but he's a very handy person and does wonderful work. The other gentleman is retired from the phone company, and again, does wonderful work and is terrific. So you don't have to be a retired plumber. Really, the only thing we're looking for is seniors who are handy, and we'll take it from there. We have about 10 different categories that we ask the handy people to evaluate themselves on: wallpapering, painting, cleaning, yard work, and they have a scale of 1 to 10. And then what we do is we say, okay, well, you like to paint, but you don't like to cut the lawn. So we won't give you any jobs to cut the lawn. We'll only give you jobs to paint.
Okay, and now if a handy person was interested in the job and contacted you, about how many hours a week would you anticipate somebody working under this program? Probably as little or as much as they like, I would expect.
One of the best parts about this whole program, being a handy person, this is something you tailor to your own schedule. The one gentleman that is retired from the phone company, for instance, can only work Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays, and he works afternoons only. That's the only times we assign things for him. So it really is tailored to your own schedule. What I would do when I was working as a handy person for Umbrella, I would contact the senior and say, well, how about I stop over Thursday afternoon at 3 o'clock or Tuesday morning at 10 a.m. And again, if that time was convenient for them, we would set that as the date and time. So it really is very flexible relative to that.
Yeah, it sounds like a terrific program. And I would say to seniors who are watching today that this is something to talk to your family members about, because I know as an adult child and caregiver, you're always looking for services for your parents, or when am I going to get them for a gift for Christmas? A membership in this program would be a terrific way of helping your parent out, and also giving caregivers and adult children the peace of mind to know that particularly if they're a long-distance family member, that their mom's needs are being met in Albany and they may live in Chicago or somewhere. So it's peace of mind for families, I would guess.
I'm just sitting here thinking about all the gifts that we got my father when he was elderly. And you're so right. They just, how many sweaters and how many ties can you get somebody who's had 85 years of sweaters and ties?
Exactly.
So a gift like this is great value. And you raise a very good point. One of the people we've talked to as far as membership, resident here in the town, her son lives in New Mexico. And I correspond with him a great deal, where he'll inquire about, well, can we do this or can we do that? And certainly with today's technology and email, it's very, very easy to do. So for those of us who are the generation that is looking after the caregivers, it's a wonderful program, and that's a great idea.
Yeah, I would think that adult children would really respond to knowing that these services are available to their parents, and access to them would really give a lot of peace of mind to caregivers.
Oh yes, so true. And having been there myself, and you yourself, it's just such a burden, and you want to do the right thing, but again, with us, we have our own family, children to take care of, and it really is a tremendous effort, and this really does help.
As we're talking, something just ran through my mind. I'm wondering, are the senior workers in this program, the helpers, able to provide transportation for an individual if they had a doctor's appointment and they couldn't access other senior transportation to get to maybe a short notice doctor's appointment? Are they able to provide that type of service?
That's a funny question, and a very good question. Thank you. First off, certainly Colony Senior Service Centers offers the transportation
Correct.
program, and they really do a terrific job with it. I think that I was talking with Jim Hummel, the director of the transportation program. He was saying that last year they were able to place 99.3% of all of their requests. That's incredible. But yeah, you're right. You do get the last minute calls. We have the transportation program in place through Colony Seniors, but we also have available the handy people could drive you to and from a last minute thing. The only important stipulation is that you have to have a car. We cannot drive you in our vehicle.
Okay.
We have to drive the member's vehicle. And that was kind of cute. Last week I had a woman who inquired about this, and she asked about the transportation, and she doesn't have a car, she doesn't drive. So
Right, right.
we in turn turned her over to Jim Hummel and the transportation department, and she's all set because she can now access that program.
Right. Now, if seniors were interested in getting some more information, how would they access that information?
Very simple. A couple of different ways. We certainly are on the web at the colonyseniors.org website. You can call the office. My direct number is area code 518-459-7152. And I'm located in 6 Winter Circle, the Beltrone Living Center. And you can either, I've had people walk in, we've had people call, we've had people email us. The email address is umbrella@colonyseniors.org. And that will get to my desk as well.
Okay, and we will put the email address up on the screen.
Okay, very good, yes.
The access to contact you. Is there any closing remarks that you'd like to make about the program, or things that seniors or family members might want to know?
Well, on a personal note, this is really exciting for me. Something I haven't shared with you is my father was a builder in the town of Colonie for many years in the 50s and 60s, and built a number of homes in the area. I think just along Exchange Street is one example of many of the homes my father built. So this is kind of a really neat program for me, because now I'm coming back and returning and kind of helping the people that he helped years ago. So from a personal, it's very satisfying and very rewarding. The other thing is that's very exciting about this is I have always enjoyed working with startup programs, which is what this is. And it's very exciting and very fulfilling and very satisfying. And then, you know, you combine that with the great seniors in the town and how dedicated they are and how faithful they are. It's win-win-win.
Yeah, that's great. Well, I know through the work done through the Town Senior Resources Department, our mission is to help individuals live independently for as long as possible. So this service certainly helps to fulfill a gap in the continuum of community-based services that really help a person remain independent and live a quality of life. That's so important. We don't want people just to survive in their homes. We want it to be a good experience and to thrive.
What you're doing is so important, and the collaboration between the town Senior Resources Department and us is just so valuable. And it's been a partnership for 27 years, I believe. Good many years. That's just terrific. So.
Yeah. Well, Tony, I thank you very much for joining me today. I think this has been very important and very timely information for our seniors and their families as people continue to struggle with finding the most appropriate services to help keep them living independently and living well. That's what it's really all about in the town of Colonie. So thank you for joining me
Chris.
today.
Thank you very much for the invitation.
Sure. Thank you for joining me today on another episode of Senior Resources with Chris Cary. We'll see you next time.
Welcome to Channel 17, the Town of Colonie Government Channel.